Hello everyone. You welcome to Moyo Hate, where we'll be talking about UI UX design, proper spacing in websites, how you can make sure you choose the right colors, the right fonts, the right spacing. Right. If you remember, we talked about spacing in our HTML, CSS in I think the first last week, right? Where we discussed how to pad, how to merge, how to do some margins to your text, to your components, to your elements, right? This topic now we'll be treating more deeper into how you can make your website readability good and make it look professionally standard with a good user experience, right? UI UX simply means user interface, user experience, right? The X there is the experience, the I there is the interface, right? One of the things I will be teaching is to make sure you know that alignment is one of the key components to be consistent in your website, right? Once if you're designing anything, be it text, be it slider, be it button, you must make sure that it has a certain size as every other button in the website. Like for example, if you have a button in a website, make sure that all the buttons has a uniform size to it. Like the same thing you give to that button must be given to all other button, and same thing applies to the text. If you give a text which is a subtext to a topic, like a subtext to an heading to a heading, make sure that that text is still the same font size all over the website. If the topic you're using is H1, make sure that all other topics in the website is H1. If it is H2, make sure that all other topics in the website is H2. This is to make your website looks more professional, look good, and then you can have a good aligned content, easy to read by your user, right? Test readability. Uh, this contains most especially the font size, the line height of your text, the contrast, and avoiding long paragraph. Right, you should make sure that you avoid a lot of long paragraph. Right, and make sure that you avoid long paragraph. Like for example, see the way this text is being written here. All right, we have the main title, we have the subtitle, and we have what the paragraph, which is like the main element of the content. If you see it like this is not too much, but when you have a content that is too much more than this, it becomes too much. Right, it becomes too not readable by the user. Make sure that whatever content, like whatever size of the main content you are reading does not pass more than 4 lines. 4 to 5 lines is good, right? And make sure that it's well aligned, right? So and the size too, I've said it, make sure that the size are not too big, right? You can use size 12, size 14. Those are the mid range of sizes that is being used for most paragraph text. Importance of clear title, right? Importance of clear title. You make sure that there's no how you want to do your title. Your headlines must not be too big, and it must not be too what too small. Yeah, it must maintain the same standard size, like H1, H2, and make sure that it's well aligned, right? It's aligned. And color selection in design, right? You need to, I will give you a course, I will give you a resource where you're going to learn more about how you can select colors, match colors together, right? It's not like you're gonna match blue with go and match sorry go and match blue with a color that is off from blue. Like you get black can work with any color, white can work with any color. Most background on the website is always white or something like a white a half white color, right? So but there's some color that doesn't go together, right? There's some set of colors that doesn't go together, like using brown and blue together. Might sound off, right? Yeah, so it all depends, right? So you make sure that your right color, you have to choosing right color is crucial for creating your strong brand identity, right? Because color evokes emotion, and it evokes the user behavior, right? Making thoughtful selection essential for effective design messages, right? your after you have made sure that your text is good, you that color is very important, right? So, and one of the ways you choose the right color is to look at the logo, the brand logo of the website you are doing, right? Every website is connected to a particular business or personal brand. So, which means that if you're going to be designing and choosing a color, make sure that the color of the logo, the color of the logo of the brand, right, of the business, the brand identity, right, is being used to select the color that you're going to be using for the website. Like for example, if my brand logo is green, from brand logo is green, let's say it's green and black, right? Every component of the text can be, obviously text is going to be on the white background and a black or hash text on it. Yeah. But any other component like button, like menu colors, like a section that has a big background that want to contain a text, and you want to use that background, you want to use a color for that background, you must pick out of the background of the brand identity color, which is the logo color. You must pick part of it so that you can have a uniform color. They call it primary color and secondary color, right? There's a primary color, there's a secondary color. The primary color is the main color of the logo. The secondary color are other colors that are attached to the brand identity. So, yeah. So these are the ways to make sure that you have a good user experience, user interface, and user experience, right? I've talked about the headlines. Make sure that it is bold and short, and it's well driven. Like it's well driven in the sense that it's well concise, like benefit focused, right? For example, a good headline is like "Get fresh home meal delivered today." See it, get fresh home meal delivered today. So these are, it's very short and concise, like very bold and short. It's not too long, like having something like get fresh home meal delivered today for your something something something. That's, you're getting too long with that. It should not be more than, let's say, one, two, three, four, five. Like max, you have six words together, right? Five words is okay. Four words is a better one, right? Even three words is a better one. Like for example, if you have five, uh, a good headline. Okay, a typical example of a good headline is like get fresh homemade meal to deliver today, and but if, because that speaks more like a complete sentence. There are some headline that doesn't complete. Like for example, welcome to our website. Welcome to our website is not complete, right? But yeah, so you need to find a way to. I think your copyright, your content also matters. The way you write content, the way you write copies matters. When I say copies, I mean content. The way you write it matters. And I'm going to give you some resources like Grammarly, like QI bots, that's going to help you to restructure your content anyway you want to write a good headline. So this resource can help you to bring out a good headline. And you can also use ChatGPT for most of this headline. If you need an headline for your website, meaning for a purpose, just go there, type, I need a strong headline, bold and short, benefit focused in this area for this particular website. And it's going to give you a suggestion of different headline you can use that are very good, not bad headline, right? So these are part of um, right, these are part of the things you should do to have a good UI UX, right? Let's go to the next topic. Effective button and CTA. When I mean effective button and CTA, what I mean is that I mean using the right size of text. Uniformity is very key. Consistency is very key for your button. The background of the button, which is going to be leading to a CTA. The call to actions are button, right? Call to action is like, it's just a simple and a way to engage your users, right? A simple way to engage your users is not it's not that too deep, right? Make sure that it's short. Obviously, if you're having a button, it should not be more than two words. Like for example, you can say request now, quote now, contact us, get in touch, like maybe three, right? But make it short so that your button does not go too long, because when you have too long text, that means your button is going to expand in width, right? So make it a strong action verb that speak to call. So that's why you have that word call to action. Yeah, speak to call, right? You can have something like a book now, get started, contact us. Those are clear wordings and strong action verb, right? Yeah, it should stand out visually. That's the main what's it called, goal of a call to action, right? So organizing your features for impact, right? um for every website, there's always a features place where you list services, you list what the website is doing, like the activities, like what it entails, right? And when you say what it entails, you're talking about maybe core values. You want to explain core values, you want to explain list of services and all of that. So you have to have a well structured section capturing that part, right? For every website. Yeah. Like for example, if I'm a personal brand and my I want to list my features, all I have to say is to talk about my core values as a brand, as a personal brand, like integrity, commitment, responsibility, focus, right? Different performance and all of that, experience. So these are, if you want to highlight them, you must make sure that they are well aligned. They are well aligned in a way that you don't put a content where another content will be starting. Like for example, if a content is supposed to be on the same line, make sure that they're on the same line. Not that one will now start on a line and the other section will now start a little bit before it, right? It doesn't where you have to make sure that it's well aligned. It's just like designing a well structured wireframe. That's why wireframe is very important. Make sure that you draw the layout of your website. And part of the ways you can learn better is to see how other website has been done, like other good websites are being done. So from there, you can easily just take a look at it and see the way they structure their content, and then you can use your knowledge of all your tools that you have learned to build it for your home website. So that's part of the way to get better, right? That's a part of the way to get better, because you cannot know everything on. So you need to be using good website as a sample, as a reference for you to get better, right? I've talked about um, branding basics. Branding basics is very important. Using your brand identity for choice of colors, for choice of your font. Like every brand has a font that is attached to that brand. Every brand has a color that is attached to that brand. Every brand has a style that is attached to that brand. You must follow all those guides. You must follow all those brand guides. If you don't follow it, it's just as designing a website that does not connect to your brand story. That's how it feels. So logo, typography, brand voice, consistency. These are very important. These are very important. These are very important. So yeah, these are very important. I think because brand creates, there's no how you want to have your, let's say you have your business card and everything, people go to your website and they don't see that consistency coming from the logo to the flyers you have into your website, because brand creates trust, recognition, and professionalism. So consistency is very key, right? Across all platforms, websites, social media, and marketing materials like flyers and all of that. It is very important. So with this, we have come to the end of module 8. Right, see you in the next module, which is the last module for this um, course, right? And make sure you're doing your assessment, and it's very important to know that you're getting this and all of that. Yeah, thank you, and God bless, right?